I get it's not the norm to have the country in a completely perfect situation with the president, but it is now. Now, of course, the Democrats are doing everything they can to screw things up. They've been trying to cause a lasting rebellion in Minneapolis and give us the impression that things are in a different place than they are, but they have not been successful at doing that. They've lost at every turn. So we've got a lot to cover today. Right at the top, President Trump dropped something so big yesterday, and no one's covering it, but I'm going to cover it. He dropped something so big yesterday, and most everyone missed this, and I'm going to share it right at the top of the show today when the radio show starts, which will just be in a couple minutes. We will be taking your calls. I'm going to talk about a lot of things today. I uploaded a clip to the channel a little less than an hour ago. That was a clip from my podcast about Gavin Newsom, and I'm going to go through that a little bit today on the program today because if you saw this about Gavin Newsom's family being Soviet spies, this is something I had no idea about. And this guy has been in public life for years and years and years, Gavin Newsom, and something got dropped, and it got dropped by Dana Bash on CNN interviewing Gavin Newsom, and it looks like his grandparents were Soviet spies during the height of the Cold War. So I want to cover that, and I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. This is so troubling, and that video that I dropped, if you guys could take that video and share it on your socials, like the video, people got to know this. Gavin Newsom made some big mistakes with that SAT thing, those racist comments he made, no doubt about it. But he may be able to recover from that. Maybe. I'm not saying that he's going to win the presidency. Don't misunderstand me. He's not going to win the presidency. Even if he wins the Democrat nomination for president, a mayor of San Francisco is not going to be elected by the American people to run this country. But he could find himself in the United States Senate. He very well could find himself in the United States Senate. And if he does that, he'll be in there for life. And the Soviet Union spy suspicions that I uncovered on my podcast it needs to be exposed. I have never heard this before. So that's another thing I'm going to cover. I got a lot of things to cover on today's program. We will be taking your calls. A lot has happened. But we're going to be on the air in, let me check. This is our pre-show. Let's see here. We've got less than a minute, and I'm going to begin with this comment that President Trump dropped yesterday, which was huge. And then we'll get into a lot of other things because this has just been, the last 3-4 days have been some of the busiest in the news cycle I've ever seen. It really has been. All right, we got about 20 seconds. And that's with the media snowed in New York, right? Because the national media are based out of New York City. All right, stand by. We got 15 seconds. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. Here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. It's Tuesday morning, and man, do we got a lot to cover today. A lot has happened. Did you guys catch President Trump with the angel families yesterday? It was, oh man. Yesterday, President Trump, he brought in Lake and Riley's mom and other angel families. Family members who have lost loved ones who were killed by the illegals. And he declared yesterday Angel Family Day, National Angel Family Day. And of course, the left are very upset about this. That was such an emotional event with the president yesterday. I mean, if you were watching that live, The only people watching that didn't have tears in their eyes were Democrats. You know, and the Democrats who get so upset about the Angel families, they're not upset that the Angel families lost their loved ones. They're upset that the Angel families are talking about it. And, you know, the Democrats, you know, here we are in this midterm election season. They're concerned about one thing and one thing only. You know what that is? Beyond winning. You know what they're concerned with? They're precious illegal aliens. We're not against legal immigration. Melania, the First Lady, is a legal immigrant. We're not against that. It's this illegal immigration. And National Angel Families Day is a long time, it's a long time coming. It is so sad. And, you know, the attitude from the left is that you shouldn't even talk about these people being lost because it's bad politically. The Democrats, you know, we call them socialists, we call them communists, we call them tyrants because these things fit. You know, when the Soviet Union was involved in their Afghan war, right, the Soviet Vietnam, they were losing huge numbers of soldiers in Afghanistan, the Soviets. No one was allowed to talk about it. They didn't have big funerals or anything because the Communist Party didn't want people to feel what was happening, the loss. That's how the Democrats are. And these Angel families, most of the Angel families are white. Not all, but most. And I get the feeling that the Democrats think that there's too many white people, and it's no big deal if white people get killed. That's how I feel when I hear the way they talk, much like that VA hospital scandal from years ago when Obama was president. They really don't seem to care. They seem angry that it's even discussed. In fact, I wasn't going to play this now because I got a clip of the president something he dropped yesterday. But let me pull this up in the first segment. I don't have this queued up, so you got to bear with me. But okay, let me see. Okay, here it is. This is CNN right before the Angel Families event with the president at the White House yesterday. Listen. The so-called angel moms. This is CNN. The so-called angel moms, and hear the annoyance. How dare these mothers who lost their children because of Democrat illegal aliens speak up? They should be silent. Wow. So-called angel moms. That's the CNN coverage. I know. It's completely insane. But that is their attitude. But the president dropped something, and I watched that event live, and it was so emotional, especially as a parent. You know, as a parent, hearing these parents and other family members who have lost children, it's hard, isn't it? It's difficult. No, we can't understand them or feel what they're feeling, you know. But we have, as parents, it hits you hard. And the president dropped something that I missed, even though I watched it live, because it was, you know, thinking about these parents, these family members, the people they lost, the children they lost. And he dropped something during his speech that I saw later in the day. It's a tiny little clip. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm just going to play it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay, hold on. Let me rewind that. I'm not sure I had the pod on. Here we go. Forget them. He's talking about the Angel families. I got a lot. He's talking about the assassination attempt at Mar-a-Lago early Sunday morning. Pretty frightening, isn't it? Pretty frightening. You know what I didn't see in the news today? I didn't see any updates on the assassination attempt on the president. In fact, I didn't see any updates throughout the day yesterday. No, I did do some digging and got a little bit of information, but very little. We don't know where he got the gun. We've not had it confirmed what exactly happened. Now, Lara Trump was on Fox yesterday. Of course, Lara Trump is married to Eric, and she was talking about it a little bit. Listen. Yeah, you don't get lucky every single time. And you can hear from the president, you hear from Lara Trump here, Eric's wife. There's fear in the Trump family. And when you hear Lara Trump talk about this, you know this is what the family's talking about because she's in the immediate family. How many times can he get lucky? What is wrong with you people on the left? The media aren't even covering this story. It's disappeared. They don't even want you to know about it. I saw a local news story in Palm Beach, and this is the fourth or fifth time that Mar-a-Lago's perimeter has been breached in the second term, they reported on one of the local Palm Beach news stations. Fourth or fifth time. Just in the last year, in the second term. And this guy, of course, got on the property with a shotgun. And the news aren't even carrying it. You hear, not only do you hear the concern from Lara Trump, you hear the concern from President Trump. And the media don't even report on it. And they don't report on it. They don't report on it because it makes them sympathetic. And it's their people that are doing this. Trump haters, never Trumpers. The Drudge Report even went so far as to say, oh, you know, let me pull this up. I saw this on the Drudge. Let me see if it's still there. What happened to the Drudge Report? A lot of people think the Drudge Report was bought by the CCP years ago. I don't know. They had this thing about Gerald Ford. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. I wasn't going to talk about any of this stuff, and then I got, let's see here. Well, I'll find it in a minute, but on the Drudge Report today, early this morning, they had, well, you know, there were two assassination attempts on President Ford in like a week or two of each other. Yeah, so what? That makes this okay? And one of those was Squeaky from the Manson family. So, you know, those were lunatics. What's going on here is we have never Trumpers making multiple attempts on President Trump's life, pretty hardcore, getting closer to a president and his property with weapons than anyone had. This guy had a shotgun. The guy at the golf course had an AK. The guy in Butler had an AR-15. Squeaky Fromme had a gun that didn't work. This is much different. And you can hear the fear and concern in the entire Trump family there, including the president. This is at the top of his mind. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta does amazing, amazing work. I heard from a listener yesterday who sent me a message that they got their roof done with Tom Laporta, and they also have Jamie Levac handling their taxes over at Swift Tax. And I've talked to so many of our listeners over the years who have used Tom Laporta for their roof, and they just love the great work that Tom Laporta and his crew do. You know, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, I know they're roofers, but I think roofers doesn't just quite describe what they do. I believe Tom Laporta and his crew are artisans. I've seen their work. They do the most incredible roof work that I've ever seen. Really, I mean that. There's so many roofers in Florida. You know, these fly-by-night guys driving around in their pickup trucks. Tom Laporta has a crew of guys that not only know roofing inside and out, they take pride in their work, they do great work, and you want to give him a call. All right? Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He's also a contractor, which allows him to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof, whether it's residential, commercial, even municipal. And he can handle the job of any size, whether it's one home, one office building, or an HOA that has over 450 units. He can handle that as well. Give Tom Laporta a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right, guys, on hold, stand by. Got so much to cover here. That clip of the president is so upsetting, isn't it? It really is. Let me see here. I've got so much to cover. What do I want to cover next? Oh, yes. Let me find this. Hold on. Let me find this clip. Okay. If you're on hold, stand by, guys. The number, if you'd like to call in, is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat, all right? Hold on a second. It is upsetting. I mean, this is just, you know, and that there's no coverage of it. We have no updates, just like the others. We know nothing really about this shooter, how he made his way, how he got there, what he did, what he was thinking. Nothing. Nothing at all. Let's see. Okay. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. We'll be back, all right? And then got some more things to cover. We will take your calls. The number to call in is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are. And did the president seem upset to you with dropping that? I don't know how long I'm going to be here after this attempt. I mean, they keep trying, you know, and there's things that happen that we never learn about. And, you know, the left, they just don't care. That's how evil the liberals are, right? They just don't care. They're completely evil. We have 45 seconds, a little less than that. We'll be back. They just don't. But that's how they are. The left are completely evil. That's it. They're just completely evil. All right. Less than 30 seconds and we'll be back. It is scary. You know, and he shouldn't have to live that way. Another reason they don't promote it is because he was motivated by the Epstein files, so they don't want people to, you know, talking about that. All right, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Very cold morning, huh? Oh, man. 45 degrees this morning. When I left the house, I couldn't believe it. 45 degrees. I knew how cold it was before, so about 20 minutes before I left the house this morning, I went outside and started up the car and turned the heat on full blast and the seat heater and the steering wheel heater on. So when I left the house, the car was warm and toasty. I've got a remote start, but I don't know how to turn the heat and everything on with the remote. I'm sure there's a way to do it on the app, but it's easier just to go out there and do it. All right, so I came across something yesterday that blew my mind. Now, yesterday, everyone was talking about Gavin Newsom and those racist comments he made. And certainly they should have been talked about. There's no doubt about it. You know, those racist comments he made about blacks and SAT score. I'm just like you. I got a low SAT score. Then he said he can't read. You know, yeah. I mean, it was really racist, typical racist stuff. Well, he did an interview with Dana Bash. So much as he's been gearing up to run for president. You got to understand that the plan that the Democrats have had is to nominate Gavin Newsom for president and have AOC as his running mate, right? East Coast, West Coast Democrats joining up, and that was their plan. And they both, especially AOC, have been disqualified. But Gavin Newsom, he is a very well-connected guy, contrary to what he wants you to believe. And he did an interview with Dana Bash that I'm going to play a clip of to you. And I'm going to play it as hard as it is for me to do. I'm going to play it for the first time uninterrupted, and because it's filled with so much. And then I'm going to go back through it and break it down. This guy should not only be forbidden from running for president, he should be forbidden from holding any public office, including the one that he currently holds. You know, California is like, being governor of California is like being the president of a major country. And because of its size, economic importance, and where it's located geographically on the continent, the governor of California has national security briefings and given lots of classified information. They have access to a lot of classified information. But I'm going to play this. This is Dana Bash with Gavin Newsom. And these are all things, I didn't know any of this about Gavin Newsom. And then when I go through this about him, I want to talk a little bit about why Dana Bash exposed this. Okay, hold on, let me cue this up. Now remember, Dana Bash from CNN. I thought I had everything queued up, and then I didn't after the intro. Okay, here we go. So this is Dana Bash with Gavin. Okay. This is completely insane, because what Gavin Newsom, I'm going to go through this slowly, but what did you pick up out of that? You know what I picked up? Gavin Newsom's grandparents were Soviet spies during the 50s and 60s. So it makes me wonder, no doubt about it. Friends with Oppenheimer, traveled to the Soviet Union. Who does that in the 50s and 60s? You know who? Soviet spies. So the question is he a second or third generation spy for someone? And I think that's a legitimate concern. If he were a Republican, I'd be just as shocked to be asking the same question. So let's go through it. Now Oppenheimer, if you remember, of course, you know who Oppenheimer is, the A-bomb and all that, who later lost his security clearance. All right? So just being friends with Oppenheimer back in that era is a big deal in itself. Wow. So J. Edgar Hoover of the FBI had a file on his grandparents who were friends with Oppenheimer. Why would J. Edgar Hoover have a file on his grandparents? Because he thought they were spying for the Russians. Who else? Or maybe he knew they were spying for the Russians. Who else would be friends with Oppenheimer at that time? Wow. So the feds were at the J. Edgar Hoover during the height of the Cold War, talking about the 50s and 60s here, had the FBI at Newsom's grandparents' house. Yeah, right. Oh, there you have it. Okay. His grandparents were friends with Oppenheimer. J. Edgar Hoover had a big old file on the grandparents. The FBI came to the house, he said. And now we find out Grandma went to the Soviet Union. Now, this isn't like today. And we're talking about the 50s and 60s, the Stalin era, the height of the Cold War. Okay, so why would a woman who's traveling to the Soviet Union, who had an FBI file on her, who was friends with Oppenheimer, right? Why would they take acting lessons from one of the most famous acting teachers of all time? You know why? To perfect their spy craft. That's why. Oh, okay. Is there any question in your mind that Gavin Newsom comes from a family of Soviet spies? Hearing this, there's no doubt about it. Now, there's more. It's crazy. Have any of you ever heard this before? I came across this yesterday for the first time. I shared this on my podcast yesterday afternoon. And Gavin Newsom's being talked about so much. And the racist stuff he did needs to be talked about, don't get me wrong. But there's something deeper with this guy. Something much deeper. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, we're still in radio station break. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this on the phone. The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. One, do you believe that with what we hear here from Gavin Newsom, that his grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union? Do you believe that? And do you think that somebody who's the grandchild of Soviet spies, what were they trying to get from Oppenheimer? Why would people traveling to the Soviet Union be hanging out with him? Yeah, he didn't know it until they brought him into the fold. Holy smokes. So who's he working for? If you're on hold, hang in there. We've got less than 30 seconds and we'll be back. I'll take a call or two. Then I'm going to finish up with this because why did Dana Bash bring this up? Why did Dana Bash bring this up? This has got to be, that's why I put that video out about this. All right, stand by. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right. You missed your chance. Rest of you on hold, stand by. Now, I want to finish up with Gavin Newsom here. As far as I'm concerned, this is a bigger story on Gavin Newsom by far than those racist comments he made. When you look at these comments, when you look at these that Dana Bash, and he confirmed all of it, is there any doubt in your mind that Gavin Newsom's grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union? I don't think there's any doubt at all. So who's he working for? How can this guy be trusted? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, it's going to be one of those days. If you're on hold, hang in there. Let me finish up, and then I'll go to the phones. Dana Bash, it's an interesting thing that this came up with Dana Bash. So why did Dana Bash bring this up? Why did Dana Bash bring this up? Now, a lot of you don't know this, but Dana Bash, she's had two husbands. One is John King, who works at CNN. And the other one, I forget his name, Mr. Bash, that she got the Bash name from, is a senior CIA guy. Okay? And the husband she gets the Bash name from is a CIA guy. And I have thought for many years that CNN is the deep state. Anderson Cooper, when he was in college, interned at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. Anderson Cooper, before he was famous, traveled the world as a freelance journalist with a camera and a backpack, probably doing CIA work. And when was the first time you heard of Anderson Cooper? First time I heard of him, he had a reality TV show on ABC, The Mole, remember? He had this reality, it was a pretty good show too. The Mole, when Survivor was new and reality shows were the big rage on network television, first time I heard of Anderson Cooper was with The Mole. And The Mole was a game show where it was kind of like The Amazing Race, but had a big twist to it. The contestants, they traveled the world and had tasks to complete, and every task they completed put money in the pot, and whoever was the last contestant at the end of the season, won all the money in the pot. And it was called the mole because one of the contestants was working for the game show, and what you had to do as a contestant was find out who the mole is. And I thought that was a pretty cool, unique thing at the time. And then later, when I learned about Anderson Cooper's CIA connections, it occurred to me that the mole is, that sounds like a training game that they do, a training exercise at the CIA school, doesn't it? It sounds like CIA training. You got to find out who the mole is, who the spy is in your group. It's a CIA training concept, is what it sounds like to me, the mole. And I didn't think about that till I found out about his CIA connections. But CNN is definitely deep state. Dana Bash is deep state. Anderson Cooper's deep state. So did Dana Bash bring this up about Gavin Newsom because she wanted to expose him? You know, it's not, you know, I know Rush used to talk about with the mainstream media, these accidental cases of journalism. And there certainly are accidental cases of journalism committed by the mainstream media from time to time. But I don't think this is that. There's something about Gavin Newsom that the deep state only want him to go, so I guess they're okay with him being governor. But being president, that's a step too far. And I think Dana Bash brought this up to do damage to Gavin Newsom, to expose Gavin Newsom and let the world know about it. And anyone whose grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union has no business whatsoever holding public office. All right, your thoughts on this are welcome. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
But you just this second answered my question.
What?
You just brought it up. I can't believe you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, Dana Bash, what she's saying, making this governor look like a spy, is damaging him. That they don't want him to run. They know his background, his grandmother's a spy or something like that. You just said it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm watching this. Why are they doing this? Why is CNN allowing a Democrat to be
exposed,
just squashed with exposed? Perfect word. So that's my
well, you know, when you hear this story, I mean, I follow news and politics and politicians pretty closely. And Gavin Newsom's been on the scene for a long time. I remember when he was mayor of San Francisco, he was the lieutenant governor for Jerry Brown in his second round as governor and all that, you know. So what, have you ever heard this before about his grandparents? I never heard this before yesterday. Never.
No, absolutely not. And anyone listening is going to say, oh, man, this guy's a loser. And I've known he's a loser. He's just not, something's not right.
Is he a loser?
He's like an actor.
Is he a loser? Yes. Is he a loser or is he a spy?
No, he's not a spy. He's too stupid, but he's a pretender.
Mm-hmm,
and pretender. This is great. This is great. Now, who else can they interview to destroy? It's great. 'Cause I'm more worried about the midterms than anything else. That has got me crazy. I just want Trump to have every opportunity to continue the great work he's doing.
Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, I'm going to ask you this question. A liberal guy called me on my podcast yesterday afternoon, and I asked, and he's, oh, we're going to win the midterms. You guys are done. And I asked him this question. All right, what policies and platforms are you Democrats running on that people would say, hey, we're going to vote for Democrat because of this? All he could talk about was ICE and the illegals. So what policies do the Democrats have that they're running on? Can you name one?
They'll talk about till they drop that they're being treated unfairly.
The Democrats. Well, that's not going to go very far. All right, Pompano, appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, this is the Democrats don't have a single policy agenda or platform position, nothing, other than they want to protect their precious illegals, and they hate Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey there, how's it going? My name's Jason. calling from Brooklyn.
Okay, Jason. Snowed in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's getting crazy up here. This is the craziest storm I've seen in like years, probably.
You know, I'm in South
We're
Florida.
stuck
I'm
out
wearing
here and
a.
we don't have Mom Donnie helping us.
I'm wearing a short sleeve T-shirt here in South Florida.
You're lucky, man. You're lucky.
I'm in paradise.
Yeah, we don't have Mom Donnie helping us at all. You know, he's big talk, but he's not doing nothing.
Well, you can go out and pray the Muslim call to prayer, and maybe that'll shovel the snow away. Well, so what's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Pretty much I was talking about raping Charlie's neck hole.
There you go. Isn't that nice? Nice guy. Had a brief, nice conversation. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm from New York.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom is a spy for the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, hearing that, there's just no getting around it.
And it's just like the guy that's running for governor now, the Eric Swalwell. He was caught with a Chinese spy.
Eric Swalwell. Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's right. Fang Fang.
How come
Fang Fang.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're going to lose the midterms. There's no doubt.
Why do you say that?
These Republicans are a bunch of cowards.
No. Hold on. Slow down. You say, let's talk about this. You say we're going to lose the midterms. There's no doubt about it. Okay? Tell me what...
Because
okay,
they're
slow
going
down.
to cheat.
Slow down. No, they're not. What are you talking about? We got the illegals out. We've got poll watchers. We won the national election less than 2 years ago. Okay, without that, excuse me. Other than that cop out, okay, we've seen the latest polls, right? A big issue right now: voter ID. 74% of African Americans agree with voter ID. Over 80% of Latinos agree with voter ID. So that's a good judge as to where the public are. What policy position do the Democrats have at all? What are they running on that people are going to rush out and support them on?
There's cheating.
How do we just won the national? President Trump won every battleground state and the popular vote.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you just heard about McConnell. They're holding up the SAVE Act.
Okay, we didn't have the SAVE Act, and we won the national election in every battleground state.
Yeah,
we flipped it about it. We flipped 10 counties.
You know what? We had Charlie Kirk alive then.
Oh, okay, all right. So sit around and feel like a loser. I don't have time to talk to losers who are we're gonna lose. Be a man. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
And the popular vote. Hey, it's Ben from Pompano. How you
doing?
Ben.
All right.
Hey, so two things. Yeah, I really do think that there's some connection between Gavin Newsom and the CCP.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he brought Xi Jinping to the San Francisco city, and for the first time ever, he cleared the streets of the homelessness. He picked up all the needles. He picked up all the poop. He actually cleaned up the city the way he should have been for the residents of that city when Xi Jinping came to town. And then and he lined the streets with the CCP flag. And then when he left, it all went deteriorated.
Well, the boss was coming. When the boss was coming, he cleaned everything up.
Right. And not only that, he is using communist tactics. I'm kid you not. When he says we need to be compassionate towards the criminals and release all the criminals and no bail and all that, that is they did that.
Well, let's talk about this new information though. Dana Bash exposed him that his grandparents, I believe, were spies for the Soviet Union. It sounds like, right? When you hear that background, there's no question they were spies for the Soviet Union. In my mind, do you agree with that based on the clip I played?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Yeah,
it's obvious. Okay, and Dana Bash exposed him. Okay, so he's like a third-generation spy. There's no question about if his grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union and he's the governor of such a big state, he's got to be spying for someone. There's no question.
He uses their tactics. I mean, even if not, he grew up in a family that was sympathetic towards the revolution and the cause. I mean, like, even if just by osmosis, it's been embedded from him as a child because he grew up in a family that was their orientation. Mm-hmm. They were for like communism, he does communist tactics. It's like if people read about Mao Zedong or read about Stalin, you would see it's uncanny, the actual the similarities between his policy, except they just dress it up in different language.
Well, listen, I'm late for the break, Ben, but I appreciate the call. Sure. You're right. Great observations. Your calls on Gavin certainly are welcome. 888-465-2631. I want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire in Margate. Oh, man. I ran over I don't know what's going on. I ran over something. I don't know what's in my tire, but the tire on one of my cars is almost flat today. So I'm going to have to go over to Friendly Tire after the show and get that fixed. You know, Friendly Tire in Margate, not only can you get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire, you can get good used tires for as low as $35 a tire. Friendly Tire also does tire repairs. Other places don't. Give Friendly Tire a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. He can get any type of tire you want. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be right back. All right, we will be back in less than a minute. If you're on hold, stand by. Less than 30 seconds, guys. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's John for 9 out of California.
Oh, hey, yeah. So did you know that your governor's grandparents were Soviet spies?
Actually, no, I didn't. But with that being said, with that being said, I am not surprised at all. Find it quite interesting how he was placed in an environment that is rich with Hollywood influence, especially after his mother was an actress.
Yeah.
I agree practically with like 99% of what you say normally, but I think Gavin Newsom is exactly the candidate that they want. And the reason why I say that is because of Mandani. I think, in my opinion, that they are going, as far as the Democrats, they're going to go full on socialist communist as far as their selections, because it seems to have worked there. And in regards to Gavin Newsom, we hate Gavin Newsom as far as being our governor. We hate him so much that we attempted to get rid of him twice. And the only way that he ended up staying in was he cheated with mail-in ballots. As you know right now, the two top contenders for that spot are both Republicans.
Well, I'm going to tell you, part of the reason that the Republicans are doing so well is because the illegals, I think a couple of reasons about the illegals. I think a lot of Californians are happy they're being rounded up and deported, but the illegals aren't leaving their houses, and you're not going to be able to count on the illegals coming out on Election Day either. So, that's going to have a huge impact. This is going to be one of the most legit elections we've seen in California in decades, since the Reagan era.
With that being, yes, definitely. With that being said, just one last point. I can't wait for them to make him their candidate because he has so many scandals. You don't forget, we have that voting thing that Nick Shirley ended up bringing up, and we have yet to actually do a true deep dive into the financial corruption.
I think he's done. I think he's done for the racist thing, but is one thing. He might be able to overcome that. But Dana Bash exposing him like she did, that he's not going to be the nominee, would be my prediction. I could be wrong, but I predict he will not be the nominee solely based on the fact that Dana Bash from CNN exposed the stuff about the grandparents.
Well, I get that, but their shift is towards socialism and communism. That's why I think New York's a great example. I mean, that's the only reason why, because everything else you're saying is completely correct, and he has to know the questions that are going to be presented before he actually has the interview, because that's like
I wouldn't be so sure. Not with CNN. This isn't Sean Hannity he's sitting down with. He's sitting down with a friend.
I don't know, but that's the feeling that I get. I get that the Democrats are pushing to go on full-on communism, socialism candidates, and they are going to do everything they possibly can to make that happen. And they think that this is their chance because they have that basically the Democrat liberal lunatics are so incited and are provoked by some of the language that's being utilized by their side, and even some rhinos as well, that they think that this is their opportunity to just go ahead and let's just pull the trigger on this, so to speak, because there's never been a better opportunity for them to actually try this nonsense. I have complete faith in the president. I'm very excited. I'm in California. It's my day off, and I'm up in the middle of the morning because I want to get stuff done so that I can sit and watch. Are you going to be airing it live? I know it's late on your. I
don't know. The State of the Union is at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so I'm not sure. Yeah. It's hard. 9 p.m. for me is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. for everybody else in the world. So I'm not sure if I'll be streaming live on YouTube during that, but I'll certainly be. If not, I'll be here tomorrow morning covering it for sure.
I'll be looking forward to tomorrow morning and your perspective.
All right, take care.
Way.
All right, appreciate the call. All right, now. A lot of people keep telling me that I'm too hard on Ron DeSantis. We've got a new betrayal by Ron DeSantis that I'm going to cover, a big one, that I'm going to cover in the next hour. After the top of the hour, you don't want to miss that. And you can tell me if I should give this guy a break after all this time. Candace Owens dropped something yesterday that is so sick, so twisted, and just so vile. I mean, I got to talk about this. Okay, now Candace Owens took a week or two off. She announced she was working on an investigative series about Erica Kirk, and she released a trailer for it, which is so perverted, I'm not going to play it. She makes the worst allegations you can make about a person, she makes about Erica Kirk. And the investigative series is called Bride of Charlie, which obviously is a take off of Bride of Chucky. This is so sick and so twisted. You know, I'm not going to say that Erica Kirk doesn't do things in a little different way than a lot of people. I mean, I don't know about this videotaping at the casket and all that stuff, with the phone and all that, but you know, she's going through a lot. The only person I know of that's gone through what she's gone through is Jackie Kennedy, when she lost President Kennedy. I mean, it's a very difficult thing she's doing, and she's trying to keep her husband's legacy, Turning Point USA, going, and you know, she's been dealing with so much, and since Charlie Kirk was assassinated by the Never Trumpers, that she's probably not even aware of what's going on all the time. You ever been in an anxiety attack, and you're there and you're going through the motions, but you have no really idea what's going on around you? It's like you're watching yourself from far away. That's what it's probably like for Erica Kirk. This Bride of Charlie trailer that Candace Owens dropped is sick, twisted, perverted. She's almost like Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction here. I mean, this is some pretty bad stuff. But a lot of people have pointed out, now this could change at any time, but as of now, and I'm not the first to point this out, many people have pointed this out. Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Steve Bannon, and others have not responded. Megyn Kelly have not responded at any way, shape, or form to Candace's disgusting, perverted trailer she dropped, Bride of Charlie. And people are wondering why. And I'll tell. And now some of them may do it today because they're being so humiliated by people. But do you know, I've got a theory on this. Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Bannon, Megyn Kelly. There's a couple others. I can't remember all of them now. Do you know why I believe they have not responded and criticized and gone after Candace Owens for this perversion? You know why? I think they're afraid of Candace Owens. I think all of them are Megyn Kelly, Benny Johnson, Jack Posobiec, Steve Bannon. I think they're afraid of Candace Owens, and they don't want to be the focus of her wrath. That's what I think. You guys agree with that? But she's too mentally ill, Candace Owens, to have a platform like she has. And it's so sad that she doesn't have anyone in her family that will intervene, right? Her husband, her parent, whoever. There's no one that will intervene here. And I know these things aren't easy, but she's not right, Candace Owens. Going after a widow like this is unheard of. She's obviously a very jealous person, Candace Owens, on a number of things. I think she wishes she was in Erica's position where she was Charlie's grieving widow. She believes she should be the front person for Turning Point USA, which she's not. But you know, I'll tell you, it would not surprise me if down the road she ended up at Turning Point USA in the lead at the Turning Point USA. It wouldn't surprise me. She's out to destroy the organization and everyone connected to it right now. And if she's successful, she very well could be leading the organ. Would you be surprised at that? Mm-mm. This investigative series she's doing is one of those things that will probably break the internet. All right, Ron DeSantis betrayed us again. I'll get into that after the top of the hour break. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere. Back after our top of the hour break. Wow. All right, we'll be back shortly, and I'm going to get into Ron DeSantis and what he has done. We'll be back in just over a minute. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, and it is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. If you're new, please subscribe, and everyone who's subscribed, please like the video. Liking the video really helps get the word out about the program. It gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel, and you guys liking the video helps so much. So please like the video if you don't mind. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got less than a minute, and then when we get back, I'll get into Ron DeSantis, who's very upsetting here. Very upsetting. I told you, you can never have trusted this guy. All right, we got about 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Okay, Ron DeSantis, all of us in the MAGA movement were big supporters of Ron DeSantis. He was President Trump endorsed him in that first term, and he came back and won the primary, and with President Trump's help, he won the governor, and he has been the best governor we've ever had. He really has. He has been a great governor. He still continues to do great things, but you can't trust him. And I get criticism from people all the time. Oh, Steve is big on this too. He's one of the biggest, give me a hard time all the time. Give Ron DeSantis a break. Yeah, he lied to Trump about running, but No, he didn't just lie to President Trump. He lied to us. Okay? And I haven't been able to get over it. But sometimes I thought, well, maybe, all these people hounded me all the time. Maybe. And then yesterday he pulled something. Now, yesterday I talked quite a bit about Byron Donalds and this fishback guy, Fish Sticks. And I talked for quite a while about my concerns with Fish Sticks. This guy, he had another big event in Florida yesterday. Now, I looked at the latest polls, and Byron Donalds is double-digit leading in every poll. No doubt about it. But I was explaining yesterday that this Fish Sticks guy, who's incredibly flawed, I believe he's a fake Republican, he's running what I have dubbed the Mamdani strategy. I just came up with that, the Mamdani strategy, which is what the left do to get their radical lunatics in office or obstruct a good person from winning. And they're trying to primary Byron Donalds out of the governor's mansion. Byron Donalds has the endorsement of the president. He is a MAGA man, and we need him as governor. We need him as governor. But Fish Sticks is on his tail. And I don't know if Fish Sticks' following is real or not. I don't know. But I know that every time I go on X, I see him at some other event with a lot of people there. And he's gaining momentum. And I'm not happy about it. And I believe that Fish Sticks is trying to primary Byron Donalds out of this. The establishment don't want Byron Donalds in. One, he's a MAGA Republican. So the Republican establishment don't want him in because of that. Two, the Democrats, he's their worst nightmare. Byron Donalds will be the first black governor of Florida, and he'll be a Republican governor. That's a nightmare for the Democrats. Florida is an important state in the presidential elections, and they are terrified of that. Beyond imagination. So Fish Sticks, I don't expect Fish Sticks to be the governor, but he could cause enough disruption to cause Byron to lose the primary. And remember, the Mamdani strategy is this. We're in an off-year election, like we were in an off election with Mamdani. In the primary, when turnout is low in an off year, get your people out there and you can win primaries. That's how Mamdani won. When the old guard took for granted that they had it locked up. And I looked at the polls yesterday. Byron Donalds isn't just double digits ahead like by 11 points. There's some polls that have him over 30, even over 40 points ahead. So he's very comfortable. Yesterday I talked a lot about that, and maybe you thought I was being a panicking. Well, then yesterday, Ron DeSantis comes out and trashes Byron Donalds. Listen, this is Ron DeSantis yesterday. What is he talking about? You know, when Ron DeSantis ran for governor the first time, he was like Byron Donalds in that he was a member of the House of Representatives. So what was Ron DeSantis doing in Florida while he was in the House running for governor that Byron hasn't done? Now, most people in Florida don't feel the way I feel about Ron DeSantis. And I think most people don't feel that way because they really don't know, right? They really don't know. And so I do not have my opinion on Ron DeSantis is a minority opinion among Republican voters in Florida by far, because people just don't know the whole history and the background and the backstory of everything that went on there, okay? But any of you out there that thought I was overreacting about Byron Donalds and Fish Sticks yesterday, who is Ron DeSantis helping here? Is he helping Byron? I don't think so. So he's saying that he's not worthy? Ron DeSantis is saying Byron Donalds hasn't earned the nomination to be governor. He's endorsed by President Trump. So Ron DeSantis he's not endorsing anyone, but he's telling everyone in Florida that Byron Donalds doesn't deserve to win the primary. And very few people that are Republicans in Florida know Ron DeSantis like you do and I do. I'm telling you. I get a lot of grief when I talk about Ron DeSantis to people off the air. A lot. They don't get it. I try to explain to them and they think I'm nuts. I get it. But this is why you can't trust Ron DeSantis. You know, if he did not mess things up and would have been a decent, he would probably either be the Attorney General now, or Trump would have made him Attorney General and replace Pam Bondi with him if she were to exit for any particular reason. But this guy, never Trump or Ron, right there. Why would he do that? And this Fishback guy that I call Fish Sticks, a lot of people say, oh, I never heard of him, da-da-da-da-da-da. He's running a very good ground game in Florida. and I'm the only one screaming about this in the entire state. Okay, the only one that's picked up on this. And Fish Sticks, with his audience, he says the right things. He knows what to say, and he's getting big crowds. And here we got Ron DeSantis throwing Byron Donalds under the bus. Oh, man, that's not good. Not good. You know, the Republican establishment don't want him there because he's a Trump MAGA Republican. The Democrats, the thought of having a black MAGA Republican as governor of Florida has them freaked out, because the reason someone leaves Congress to become governor, if they're in the House, senators are different, but if somebody leaves the House to become governor, they plan on becoming the senator from that state or maybe run for president or vice president. And and I've seen Byron Donalds speak in person once, and he is so impressive. And I mean, he's great on television too. He's always impressive, but he's got that presidential vibe to him. I thought in person, yeah, he's got it. But Ron DeSantis is working to stop Byron Donalds from winning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, talking about Byron Donalds, Ron DeSantis has always been against Byron Donalds. That's nothing new.
Well, no, this is new. He's got Byron Donalds. We've got a hotly contested governor's race, okay? If Byron Donalds, no, this is very new, Joellen. I'm sorry to tell you. And I'll tell you why.
Oh.
If Byron Donalds does not win the nomination, either Fish Sticks or one of the other guys who I don't even know their names will win, the Democrats have a chance of winning the governor's mansion back if it's not Byron Donalds. They have a big chance of winning it back. And what's new is this was yesterday, Ron DeSantis threw Byron Donalds under the bus. And over the weekend, Friday, there was a gossip story about Byron Donalds with his first wife, okay? Then we have Fish Sticks doing some publicity stunts against Byron on Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday, we have Ron DeSantis throwing Byron under the bus. So DeSantis is part of a coordinated effort to stop Byron Donalds from winning the nomination. If anybody else wins that nomination, we very likely will lose to the Democrats the governor's race in Florida.
I don't think that. I don't think that because, you know what, I think a lot of these Republicans, you know, they like Ron DeSantis and they're going to go with whoever he backs. Ron DeSantis has not backed Byron Donalds. I mean, I read about it in like Palm Beach. I don't know if it was the Palm Beach Post or Daily News up there. He is not for Byron Donalds, and he never has been.
No, but now he is. But now he hasn't
been vocalizing it.
Well, now he is, and this was on national television.
Well, now he is. Okay.
Now he is. This was on Fox yesterday. Okay, he was on Fox News doing this yesterday.
Right. Well, Ron DeSantis is, you know, like, what do you say, Bush? What do you call that?
Who else is running for governor other than Byron Donalds in the Republican primary? Do you know?
I thought there was another guy.
Yeah, another guy. That's why we'll lose. That's why we'll lose, because the other guys running, nobody knows who they are, and that's it. Okay, you need to have name recognition on top of the Trump endorsement and other things. The other guys are nobodies.
Who's running for Democrat? I don't even know that.
That doesn't matter.
Who's running for Democrat?
That doesn't matter, because what's going to happen? What's going to happen is if we lose I consider losing Byron Donalds not getting the nomination. If Byron Donalds loses the Republican nomination for governor, okay, we're going to lose all of our momentum in the midterm election cycle in the state of Florida. It'll affect Congress. It'll affect our turnout, and the Democrats are going to have massive turnout. It doesn't matter who they run, as long as they got a D next to their name. They're going to have a massive turnout for a Democrat, and we're going to have a depressed turnout if we don't get Byron. That's it, and we're going to lose.
I don't believe that, because you know what? The people that are backing, that love Ron DeSantis, are going to go with whoever he's backing. That's what
There'll be a
what's going to happen.
big, you're
But
wishful
Byron Donalds-
thinking.
No, I do not believe that this state is going to turn Democrat because of that. I don't believe that.
The Republican Party, the Republican Party machine in the state of Florida is run by Jeb Bush. Still, it is run by Jeb Bush and his allies. Okay? And they are working against Byron Donalds every step of the way.
Yes, I know that. Establishment is what I meant to say. Ron DeSantis is establishment, and so is this other guy.
All right.
That's who they're trying to
All right,
get in there.
I got to run, Joellen. I
That's
think
what
you're
I
in
said.
some denial.
Okay.
No. Basically, what DeSantis did yesterday was endorse fish sticks, is basically what he did. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. That's it. I mean, would you guys agree? He basically endorsed fish sticks. What it looks like to me. Unreal. Okay, stand by, guys. Okay. Wait a second. Lost my spot here. Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, stand by, guys. Let me check the clock. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. All right, we have less than a minute, and we'll be back, so hang in there. Oh, boy, oh, boy. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free. If you're on hold, hang in there. So much to cover today. All right, stand by. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. I was talking with one of our listeners the other day who called me, and you'll hear them on an upcoming commercial. They retired, 20 years ago or so, and they have pretty good. Retirement. It's a government pension, and it was good 20 some years ago, but they've outlived the expectation that the pension expected them to live. And no matter what, no matter how well the economy is going, prices always go up over the years. And what was a great pension 20 or so years ago isn't really cutting it any longer. So they went over to Jupiter Joe Thomas, talked to him about annuities, got involved with annuities, and they doubled their annual income. And they've got that monthly check coming each and every month from that annuity. Listen, don't struggle in your retirement. You don't have to. Call Jupiter Joe Thomas and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. Okay, so if you're just joining, I've covered a lot. I'm going to recap after the bottom of the hour. President Trump commented on the assassination attempt on him over the weekend. I'm going to get back to that, but we've uncovered a lot of things today. Gavin Newsom's grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union. We've got Ron DeSantis yesterday throwing Byron Donalds under the bus and trying to help the other side defeat Byron Donalds, who's running for governor of Florida right now. A lot is going on, and you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. Now, tonight is the State of the Union. And the State of the Union is perfect. The State of the Union is perfection, regardless of what anyone in the media or the liberals tell you, okay? I mean, this country is in such a great space right now, isn't it? Things could not be going better than they're going now. Everything President Trump is doing is working perfectly. And a lot of what everyone's talking about what they expect tonight. And later on in the day, sometimes they release those speeches early so the press can talk. But, the Angel Family Day that he signed into law yesterday, or at least an executive order for it, with the Angel families yesterday, gives us an idea of where we're going. We were talking about, and I'm sure he'll bring this up tonight, we're at the lowest crime level in over 100 years. We have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, since 1900. That's amazing. We have the lowest violent crime rate in this country in 125 years. And 1900 was the first year that they started keeping statistics on such things. And the West was still kind of wild around 1900, pretty lawless still, and still the lowest crime rate since 1900. That's amazing. So when you look at that, there's only one thing in our country that's changed in the last year that has given us the lowest crime rate since 1900. Not 2000, 1900. What's the one thing? Shutting down the border and the massive deportations going on. That is the only thing that's changed. There's no other big change that would affect crime that I can think of. Can you? No. So what President Trump is doing so far as his border and immigration policies are perfection, because the crime rate is at its lowest rate in 125 years. And I imagine that's going to be a lot of what he talks about tonight. Now, I took that last break a little late, so this is going to be a short segment. When we come back, I'm going to jump into some new things, but you're welcome to call in about anything that we brought up so far on the program. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. If you're on hold, stand by, because we don't have time to start a conversation now. But there's no other factor I can think of. And these Democrats that are not going to show up tonight, a lot of them, a lot of high profile, like Adam Schiff isn't going to the State of the Union tonight, and some other high profile ones, these are 100% narcissists who will do anything to get their face on television. So why do you think they're not going? You know why? They don't want to be shown on camera sitting down and not applauding when the angel moms and angel families get introduced. They know how bad they will look when the camera goes to them and President Trump is talking about these angel families who have lost loved ones because of the Democrats' precious illegals. And they don't want Adam Schiff and Presley and the others don't want a close-up of them on television when those things happen. That's why they're not going tonight. I never thought anything would keep Presley or Adam Schiff off of network television coverage, but they know how popular Trump's immigration policies are. All right, callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian, back right after this. All right, we got about a minute and we'll be back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, got about 30 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is in the live chat. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. You know, the laser away pain treatment, there's no shots, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. It works. You know, it's amazing to me what people do when they have pain other than go see Dr. Appleton. Take pills, people go in from time to time and get these painful, deep shots and all of that. You know, when you take pain medications or get those shots, all you're doing is masking the pain. The pain is a sign from your body that something's wrong. Dr. Appleton's robotic laser wave pain treatment actually repairs the damage that is causing the pain. That's why the 7 times that he's treated me, the pains have not returned. The consultation's free. Appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays. If you have scans, if you have x-rays, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over. If you've got a surgery scheduled for some kind of pain, before the surgery, go see Dr. Appleton and take advantage of his robotic laser wave pain treatment. Boy, oh boy, it works. It's amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've gone, from the 7 times, I would say out of the 7 times, 4 of them I was in so much pain I was almost in tears in Dr. Appleton's office. And now I'm pain-free and none of the pains have ever returned. No surgery, no downtime, no drugs, no shots. And the treatment's 100% painless. You don't even feel it when it's happening. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian, this is Julian. Good morning.
Hey.
And hello to Richie.
Yes.
I would like to tell you, you didn't mention the lieutenant governor running for governorship of Florida with Ron DeSantis. And there's another guy, a hedge fund manager, that's running also.
Yeah, fish sticks. He's the problem. Fish sticks. He's the worst.
No, there's another guy besides him. Besides Fish.
What's his name?
There's 4 of them all together.
Yeah, I know. Tell me who they are, other than Fishback and Byron.
I just said that the lieutenant governor is running.
What's his name?
And a hedge fund manager, and this guy Fishback, like you said, and Byron. Okay, that's 4 people.
Okay, now the lieutenant. Now slow down for a second. Don't lose your thought. I just want to point out you don't know any of their names. The lieutenant governor. Do you know how he became lieutenant governor?
How?
Well, what do you think? He's lieutenant governor of Florida, and he's running.
Yeah.
How do you think he became lieutenant governor?
Well, Ron DeSantis picked him.
Yeah, but that's all you know? The lieutenant governor that won the election with him got a job. I think she's the president of FIU now in Miami. This guy's like appointed. He didn't even win an election. He was appointed by DeSantis. And you don't know his name.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, all right. But also, one more thing, let me say, that Byron Donalds, he had some conviction of fraud. Do you know that? You never mentioned that a while back.
I know he's got the endorsement of President Trump.
Right. And I looked at his voting record. It seems all right. I don't know.
I know. This is all I need to know about Byron Donalds is that Donald Trump endorsed him.
Right.
And by the way,
all right, then.
he was accused, it says. Accused. All kinds of people
right,
are
allegations.
What is by who? What's an accusation? Look at how many accusations against President Trump have been made that are not true. You didn't say accused.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
You implied that there was like some type of criminal conviction.
No, I didn't imply that. I just said there was, and I don't know. I have to look at it. Mm-hmm. But there was some type of
allegations. An allegation. I mean, they allege that Trump is a fascist, right? I mean, allegations.
I know.
Allegations are just things people say.
Right. Well, I'm going to look into it further. That's all.
What do you need to look into? He's got the endorsement of Donald Trump. What else do you need? Donald Trump's word is not good enough for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. You think he's going to get?
So you're telling me that if Byron Donalds does not win the nomination, one of these 3 guys whose names you don't know, they're going to win the governor's race? Please.
I cannot say what's going to happen. I don't know. But he's got the endorsement. So there's been from Trump. There's been plenty of ones that didn't get in because Trump backed them up.
No. Hold on. They didn't not win because Trump backed them. But who's got a 100% endorsement success rate? Trump's endorsement success rate is probably the highest of any president in history. So far as Byron Donalds is a household name in the state of Florida. Everybody knows who he is. And he's got the endorsement of the president. That's all I need.
All right, well, we'll see. I don't
That's
know.
not
We'll
good
see what
enough for
happens.
you.
That's all I could say.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, and there's a Democrat in Tallahassee running the state. For some no names.
I just hope they don't. I hope a Democrat doesn't get in, because these days these people they are morons. I can't believe it.
Well, that's why.
It's not
That's
John
why.
Kennedy anymore.
That's why you need to support Byron Donalds. He's the only one of the Republicans that's a sure bet to win.
Let me ask you a question. I was independent a while back, but I changed because I'm wasting my time with that. All right, it just means you know it's not good. I'm too Republican now. But I'd like to ask you a question. When Obama and Biden were running, right, and Obama and what's his name, Romney and Paul Ryan were on the ticket, did you vote for them? Who did you vote for?
For who? When?
When Romney and Paul Ryan were running.
I voted for them. Yeah. Who else was I going to vote for? Obama?
Those guys were no good. Yeah,
I'm either going to vote for Romney and Paul Ryan or Obama. Of course I voted for Romney.
I made a mistake. That was a big mistake for me. I didn't like them both. I didn't both of them. I did not like, and I voted for Obama and Biden. That was a mistake.
You voted for
but
Obama.
Anyway, like I said, I changed to Republican.
Well, good. All right, I appreciate the call. You're right. I agree with all of that. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Jack. You invoked our conversation yesterday. I'm honored. Listen, you and I both know the other reasons why the Republicans and Trump and anybody who Trump picks will not win in the midterm elections.
Keep telling
and
yourself
I'm not
that.
going to bring it up. Hey, wait. I'm not going to bring it up out of respect for you.
Oh.
Because I know how.
But you are bringing it up. Listen. Hold on a second. You called me on my
podcast. I'm not bringing it up directly.
Excuse me. Indirectly, it's still bringing it. You called me on my podcast yesterday. We had a good conversation. Yeah. If you can be a normal, regular, coherent person and get away from your obsession, you could be a good caller. Okay, but don't try my patience.
Okay.
I love opposition. Excuse me. I love oppositional calls. Believe me. But you're not going to hijack the show with your weirdo ideas. So if you're a normal, coherent, liberal caller, you're welcome.
I promise.
Right.
I'm not trying to. I am trying to have a legitimate conversation.
Well, you're trying to have a legitimate conversation. Is it the same as having and being successful at having a legitimate conversation?
Whoa. Okay, well, you're in a different mood today than you were yesterday. That's for sure.
I'm always in the same mood, man.
Listen, I think while I don't like Gavin Newsom either, Brian, and you might find that shocking as me being a liberal person.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought you disconnected the phone. I apologize.
No, you're there for now.
Well, good. I'm glad. Listen, I think that any legitimate candidate that goes up against whoever the Republican candidate
Listen, do you think, okay, Dana Bash outed Gavin Newsom's grandparents as spies for the Soviet Union over the weekend, okay? So, but this is a bad couple of days of news for Gavin Newsom. He made these terrible racist comments about black people, that they have low SAT scores and can't read. But don't worry, I'm just like you. I can't read either, he says.
And you think that what Donald Trump did wasn't that bad? You think that the fact that Donald Trump's grandparents and parents were part of the KKK wasn't
they weren't
bad?
Well, the difference is that's not true. But with Gavin, what you said is not true.
What about the video of the Obamas looking like monkeys?
He didn't post it. That's not his video. But Gavin Newsom, he said very racist things. He actually said these racist things over the weekend. Then Dana Bash on CNN outs his grandparents as spies for the Soviet Union. I'm going to replay that after the next break. You don't think that's troublesome? You don't think it's troublesome to have the grandson of spies for the Soviet Union as president?
Here's what's troublesome, Brian, and you've probably seen it yourself. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings here. But look at your viewership. It's down.
My viewership is up.
Okay?
My viewership is up.
Yeah, I don't think so,
My
Brian.
viewership is up. In
Brian,
fact, it's almost doubled.
Brian, you're delusional. You're delusional.
But
There
what
aren't
my
that many people that watch you
viewership and
anymore.
listenership has doubled.
I guarantee you that half of the people who watch you are watching you to make a fool of yourself.
Oh, okay. So you agree?
Pushing
Okay. Well, at
for
least they're
Donald.
watching. See, he can't have a coherent conversation. He just can't do it. Now, I am going to play the Gavin Newsom thing after the break. But I want you hear all these celebrities that left the United States because of Donald Trump. Rosie came back. Ellen DeGeneres came back. And now we know why Rosie and Ellen DeGeneres came back. Do you know why? Why did Rosie and Ellen come back to America? Do you guys know? I'll tell you real quick. There's no need to speculate on this. Nobody knows who they are in England, and they like to get recognized everywhere. Okay? And they're not celebrities in England, in the UK. She was in Ireland, one was in England. But they're not celebrities over there. So they came back here so people recognize them. But a lot of regular liberals left the country over President Trump's immigration policies. And this is a woman, her and her, I think, wife or girlfriend, because of Donald Trump's election, fled to Canada. And now they're in trouble. This is a liberal Democrat woman. She fled to Canada. Oh, I'm looking at the clock. I got to share this after the break. You guys are going to have to wait. I'm going to have to take the break. Okay, we'll take the break, and then we'll come back. She fled to Canada, and now she's got something to say. But I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Oh, man. Our cruise, our ship is sold out on the cruise. Next month, Steve and I will be on our 10th annual MAGA cruise, and I'm looking great. Guys, I've lost even more weight since I saw you a year ago on the last cruise, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And, it's so amazing. Not only have I lost all this weight, I feel great. I look great. I have more energy than I've had in years. I've lost my belly. I was getting a stomach. I had partially obstructed view. I used to make fun of guys that had obstructed view with their bellies, and I was approaching that. Now I've got a flat stomach. I weigh what I weighed almost 30 years ago when my wife. It will be 30 years soon because my wife and I are coming up on our 30th wedding anniversary, and I weigh what I weighed when we got married. It's amazing. I've lost a lot of weight. I did not measure my waist before, so I don't know how many inches I lost, but I know this. I've had to buy new belts and put holes in belts and everything else to keep my pants up. I've lost so much weight, and you can too. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. Hold on. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. I got to go quick through a couple things here. The first one is what I talked about before the break. Oh, this is great. So it wasn't just celebrities that fled when President Trump was reelected to this glorious second non-consecutive presidential term. A lot of regular liberals left for all these paradises. This is a woman who left with either her wife or girlfriend. I think she reveals it in the video. They fled to Canada. They fled to Canada and they sent out this SOS. Listen, this is a liberal, fled the United States because President Trump was reelected. They're in Vancouver, Canada. A scholar of the far right? What the heck is that? I'm a scholar of the far right. Is that a job? Is that a profession? Oh my goodness. Okay, and then they go on, they're asking for rent or somebody that can provide housing and everything else. So what is this? She's left the United States for Canada because of President Trump's fascist immigration policies. And what does she find out? Because she is an American in Canada and has a tourist visa, she can't get a job. Their perfect healthcare system, she's denied access to healthcare because she is only has a tourist visa. Canada does not provide free housing for people that don't have proper documentation and are in the country like this. And the economy is worse off. So basically, Canada is being governed like the United States. What did she think was going to happen there? Oh my goodness. Who was that guy that defected to the Soviet Union because there was no racism there? Was it Paul Robeson? I can't remember. Steve will remember. And then they found out that there was no racism because there's no black people. Or our old friend Ronald X, who dreamed of going to Africa. He moved to Africa. And after he was there, he was calling Steve, begging for money for a plane ticket to come back to the United States. I mean, this is priceless, this woman in Canada. I love it. All right, now, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm running short in this segment, and I want to share the Gavin Newsom clip that I played in the first hour before the top. That just cracks me up. I almost forgot to play that. So Gavin Newsom here, he did this interview with Dana Bash, and we find out it looks like Gavin Newsom's parents were spies for the Soviet Union. And listen to that. I mean, this racist comment and everything that he made over the weekend is bad. But this is even worse. And let me share this with you. Now, even liberals know who Oppenheimer was because that movie was a big hit a couple years ago. And, so the inventor of the A-bomb. Okay, so his grandparents were both friends with Robert Oppenheimer. J. Edgar Hoover not only had a file on his grandparents, it was a big file, and the FBI came to the house investigating Gavin Newsom's grandparents. Oh my goodness. So Gavin Newsom's grandparents were friends with Robert Oppenheimer. Now keep in mind, this is during the 50s and 60s, during the height of the Cold War, Stalin's leading Russia. FBI's coming into their house, right, and investigating them. Now we find out Grandma visited the Soviet Union. Who's friends with Oppenheimer, is under FBI investigation, and goes to the Soviet Union in the 50s and 60s. Oh my goodness. And Grandma was an out-of-the-closet communist. Oh my goodness. Stanislavski. So she's studying acting. Grandma... and of course, the reason that Grandma was studying acting is to perfect her spy craft so she could pass herself off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, look. Dana Bash just did a takedown of him. He's done. I would say whatever chance he had of becoming the Democrat nominee over the last 48 hours are completely gone. And not only does it look like Gavin Newsom's grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union, it looks like Gavin Newsom, this is a big loss for whoever is behind Gavin Newsom right now. This is a big loss. Gavin Newsom, they have been grooming Gavin Newsom his entire life to be president. You understand that? Whoever he's working for today, whether it's Putin or the CCP, I don't know. But there's no doubt in my mind that his grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union. No doubt in my mind. And everything about his life has been to prepare him to be president. He's been groomed his entire life to be president of the United States, and it's over. And it's not over just because of the racist comments over the weekend. Remember, I was talking about this earlier in detail, so I'm not going to get into it all now. Dana Bash is a deep state operative, and they don't want him to be the nominee. They don't want him to be president. The deep state just outed him. He's done. He is done. And whoever California, of all the states, we have more examples of spy activity in California than anywhere else, right? We've got Fang with Swalwell. Dianne Feinstein had a CCP spy with her for over 20 years who had access to all of her data, confidential papers and everything. And now we find out that Gavin Newsom's grandparents were spies for the Soviet Union. Now, he didn't say that, but based on what you heard there, what were they? So whoever has been the handler of Gavin Newsom all these years, it's over. It's over. He's the spy who came out from the cold. I mean, this is devastating. So who do they got left now? And AOC she did herself in by her stupidity. But Gavin Newsom will not be the nominee for the Democrats now. And this is a big shift because remember, 2 weeks ago, before Munich, the Democrats' plan was to nominate Gavin Newsom for president and AOC as his running mate. No doubt about it. And both of them are done now, especially him. She's younger and she has time to make a comeback. She might make her way into the Senate at some point. But Gavin Newsom is done. Now, you may have noticed that there have been zero updates on the assassination attempt on President Trump at Mar-a-Lago early Saturday morning. Nothing. I didn't see anything. There are more stories about the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping, more updates on that today than on the Trump assassination attempt at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not kidding, because now they're saying they got some video of the guy without the backpack the day before. Nothing. Totally brushed under the rug. And the Trump family talked twice yesterday about this Mar-a-Lago assassination. This is the president during the Angel Families event at the White House yesterday, talking to the Angel Families. Listen to what he said. Don't I, honey? He's talking to Melania. I don't know how long I'll be around. I got a lot of people gunning for me, don't I, hun? That's him talking about the assassination attempt at Mar-a-Lago. Pretty sad, isn't it? But you know, that's the left. I mean, and this is how many assassination attempts now? And then Lara Trump on Fox. Let me pull this up. Lara Trump on Fox gave us some indication as to what the family is thinking. This is Lara Trump on Fox yesterday. This is after, of course, the Mar-a-Lago Sunday morning assassination attempt on the president. Yeah. So when Lara Trump talks this way, that's how the family are talking, right? Remember, her husband's Eric. So, I mean, what the heck? I mean, how many attempts have we had? Butler, the golf course, this, the escalator, the sniper's nest, the object on the road in front of the motorcade a few weeks back. That's 6 right there. Am I leaving any out? This guy got on the Mar-a-Lago property. Yeah, they took him down, but he got on the property. Pretty scary stuff. Now, I want to talk about the Sloman's home security offer. This is amazing. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you got to do is call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access so you can check in no matter where you are. Give them a call right now. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. All right. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. Steve will be joining us. We'll be back after that with your calls at 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this. You there?
Lines are temporarily busy.
All right, we are back live. All right, so let's get everybody together. All right, Steve, all right, Steve, are you with us?
I'm hearing voices like Joe.
Okay, well, nothing like a smooth transition. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. A little behind the scenes look at the chaos going on here on the program. If you're
organized chaos.
Well, listen, every once in a while it's okay to show everybody it's live, right?
Exactly. Proof of life.
What other show would put all this on the air if it wasn't live and an accident? Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you're on hold, stand by. I've covered a lot today, and a lot has been going on.
I guess a couple things that you didn't go into that I think would be certainly are my focus.
Okay.
What's the big event of the next 24 hours?
Well, I've been talking about that. The State of the Union's tonight.
Right, exactly right. And I'd like to devote a little bit of time to that.
Okay.
Since I think it's going to be a wild and crazy. State of the Unions can be kind of crazy because these Democrats have nothing to talk about, so they just stage these ludicrous, childlike demonstrations, and they're rude and they're obnoxious and they make more enemies than friends. So I don't mind it from that point of view, but it's going to be a wild night tonight. There's no question.
Well,
but did you watch last night? They showed all the stuff going on with the American hockey team. The American hockey team's going to be there, and that's going to be the center attraction of the evening.
Well, the girls' hockey team said they're not going to show up.
I know, but the men's is.
Yeah, nobody. Who cares about women's hockey anyway, right?
Men is a real soccer player anyway.
Right.
So
hockey.
Exactly right.
Well, tonight at the State of the Union, okay, a lot of the top Democrats are not showing up. They're doing a counter State of the Union that no one's going to watch.
Right.
And some of the ones that are going are high-profile camera hogs like Eric Swalwell. Okay.
Yes. And they'll put on a show.
No one will watch it. Nobody will see it. So what does...
Oh, no, I disagree. I think there's going to be a massive people tuning in to see just the thing we're talking about.
No. I'm talking about the liberal...
Democrats are going to be.
I'm talking about the Democrats' counter State of the Union. That no one's going to watch that. They're going to be watching Trump.
Well, I think... I think it's going to have a big listenership. I think people look forward to looking to these jerks making AHs out of themselves.
The reason that these Swalwell, Presley, and there's some other high-profile Democrats that love to be on television have announced they're not going to the State of the Union. And I think the reason they're not going to the State of the Union is because when President Trump brings out the Angel family, yesterday, did you see President Trump with the Angel families yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, he spent quite a bit of time talking about the Democrats got all their relatives killed. That if he had been reelected and Biden had never been president, none of those people would be Angel families, that their relatives would still be alive. And he went into a lot of detail about how the Democrats are responsible for the deaths of their parents, sons, and daughters. It was a sad event, with these Angel families. But everything...
But powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. And the Democrats, like Eric Swalwell, as much as they love being on television, they don't want a camera doing a close-up of them when President Trump does that tonight. Because they expect him to be talking about the Angel families like he did yesterday. And I think that's why they're not showing up. They don't want to be there sitting on their hands when President Trump is pointing out how the Democrats killed their children. And that's why they're not going. Would be my guess as to why they're not going.
They won't be far away from the camera, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, but there'll be no one watching that camera. Who are you going to watch, Trump or Swalwell? Right?
I'm anxious to, like many people, I'm anxious to see what Falwell's got to say.
Yeah.
Because that's where the votes are going to be won and lost, is to how badly the Democrats misbehave, as they always do, predictably.
Yeah, yeah. And is Swalwell going to be there? A lot of these high-profile Democrats are not showing up to do their counter thing. Good luck with that. You know, if the Democrats expected to do well in the midterms, they would all be at the State of the Union tonight. They're lying low. You know, these Democrats, they are typically people without any shame whatsoever. And, you know, the last State of the Union is when they were on their hands when he was talking about Lincoln Riley and the Lincoln Riley Act. And that they got a lot of bad publicity from that.
Yes, they did.
Do you want to take some calls?
Sure.
All right. The number is toll free 888-465-2631. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian. Hey, Uncle Steve, IB.
IB, how are you?
I'm breathing, Uncle Steve. I'm breathing. I'm okay. That was pretty topsy-turvy last night. A somber thing with all of the victims' family. And
did you see the part that Brian didn't talk about, the U.S. winning the World Cup?
I mean the Olympics.
I mean the Olympics.
That was a part of what I was going to bring up, Uncle Steve. What I really loved about it was Trump was out there in his suit with the red tie and no helmet on, with the hockey stick. What do you call the hockey stick? And he was like, when he scored, did you see that? Stick. When Trump was he was playing hockey, but without the helmet that protects you. And you could see his hair, you know, because they make fun of his hair. And he had the suit on, and he was skating, and he scored. Did you see that? You got to go back and see that, Steve. It's pretty funny.
I didn't see it.
That was
Steve. I did. In my defense, I did talk about that. That was yesterday's show, Monday. Okay, the game was Sunday. I talked about it yesterday.
But the climate yesterday, it was just to build up to tonight when they make their appearance in front of the Congress, and these jerks won't stand up for them or applaud them or anything. That's where the real friction is going to be tonight. Don't you think?
It's so typical. Yes, I do agree. It's so typical of these ladies, just like the soccer team. They're so woke. They're not America first. They talk about America first. They are not America first. To turn down an invitation to the White House is just so anti-American.
The ladies. Well, you know the story. You're going back to the World Cup in soccer. Half the team was.
No.
How can I put it?
Gay.
Not like yes. I guess the direct way is the best way.
The ladies' team, not the men's team.
Yes.
You know, I saw. Yeah, I might be wrong, but the ladies' soccer team, they need the publicity more than anyone. The guys on the men's team play in the NHL. They're all millionaires. There's not a lot of money in girls' hockey, you know, and they're missing out on
the lady,
all this.
The lady last night that was talking about how her son got shot and she had to actually pick up a gun. That old elder Spanish lady. I saw like that black auntie lady in her, that she actually had to pick up a gun with her husband, and her husband was shot, and she had to actually shoot back at the bad guys, even though she lost her son. And how she praised President Trump. You guys got to go back and look at the little short Spanish lady. That was like, it really choked me up, man.
Well,
you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. That same dynamic. There's going to be a lot of conflict between these liberal jerks and the patriotic Americans. It's going to be quite a scene.
I want you guys to go back. I want you guys to go back and watch that part where they show all the people that were victimized, because we forget about the men, because the women were so brutally, you know, what they've done to them. But we forget about the men too that were also dead. If you go back and look at it, they showed all the people at the end, and that was like we got to remember them too. So
Irene, thank you for your call.
All right. You want to take some more calls, or what do you want to do?
Sure, yeah.
Take another one. All right, let's go. You're on the air.
It's a major night.
Well, yeah, but all right, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Richie. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Rich. How you doing?
Not good, really good. Not for nothing. I didn't call yesterday's show because I was listening to Brian. He was in a real bad mood about this Epstein and the assassination attempt. Because I didn't call because our society sucks. I hate to say it. You have the Iranians. You have the Mexican cartels. I mean, there's a bullseye on the president, and that's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the world. And let me say this about the Democrat Party, not Democratic. Okay, they have short memories. They ran a country less than a year ago into the toilet bowl. Their policies were awful.
All right, hold on, Richie. Let me ask you this, because you said something here. Now, I did not notice you didn't call yesterday. Sorry to burst your bubble.
I didn't call.
But I didn't even notice. Okay, I'm sorry. But
okay, that's fine.
But I'll tell you. You said because of I was talking about the Trump assassination attempt.
You're blamed on Epstein's case.
No, I wasn't talking about
one of them.
The guy that tried to assassinate Trump Sunday morning, okay?
Yeah.
His cousin and a friend he was texting with said that he was motivated to do it over his obsession of the Epstein files. Okay, I wasn't talking about Epstein. I wasn't talking about Epstein. I was talking,
But there's motivation. There's motivation. All these groups, all these fringe crazy groups. Let me say this about President. What do they have?
I gotta run, Richie. I gotta run. I appreciate the call, and oh boy, I don't get this. All right, listen. I want to ask you this question. All right, do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? If so, listen up. I want to talk about Lighthouse Medical. We found Lighthouse Medical because of your neuropathy, Steve.
Lighthouse Medical. You misspoke.
I said Lighthouse Medical. I said Lighthouse Medical.
My hearing is not what it used to be.
I don't know what's going on the show today. All I'm hearing from you and Richie is everything I'm doing wrong on the air. I'm talking about the wrong things. I'm doing all this.
It was a great moment.
I mean, I'm trying to. I said Lighthouse Medical, Steve. All right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
After the break, you can continue with telling me what I'm doing wrong on the air. Lighthouse Medical, though, we found them because, we've got our 10th annual cruise coming up next month. This was about, I don't know, I guess it was 3 or 4 cruises ago. We were about to go on our cruise, and your neuropathy was so bad you couldn't get out of bed. And you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get to the port. I got this So we found
I remember it well.
We found Lighthouse Medical, and we didn't know anything about them. We found them because you were in this desperate state. And you had relief from your neuropathy after the first treatment, which was absolutely amazing. And here we are over 3.5 years later, okay? And not only did Lighthouse Medical rid you of your neuropathy, it has not returned. Listen, I'm going to give you the number in just a moment. When you call Lighthouse Medical, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. They have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that works, and they have a treatment that lasts. Steve had his treatment over 3.5 years ago. The neuropathy has not returned. They can help you no matter where you're located. They're located in Pompano, and if you can go in person, that's cool. But if you can't make it into the office, even if you're local and you can't make it into the office, or if you're in another part of the country, give them a call. They can help you. They understand if you have neuropathy, it's probably difficult for you to get out of the house sometimes. So you can be treated with them remotely no matter where you're located. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back, and Steve will tell you what else I'm doing wrong today. Don't go anywhere. All right, hold on, Steve.
Hello.
Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian. Good morning.
Yeah, okay, hang in there. Let me check the time. Okay, we've got about 90 seconds, so hang in there. I'm going to keep you on the line, but it's going to be about 90 seconds. All right, Steve, are you there?
I sure am.
All right, I got Barry on the line. We got about 90 seconds, and we'll be back, so I'm going to keep you there.
Great.
All right.
Hey, Steve. Good morning.
Good morning.
Cold day, isn't it?
Yeah, really, I can't stand cold in Florida. Drives me nuts.
At least we're not up north with all that snow and blizzards.
That's the good news.
No.
All right, we got about 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Steve. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning, Barry. How are you doing today?
Terrific. Great.
So what do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, today I was going to talk about the long-term care issues and Medicaid planning. A lot of people think that Medicaid is only for people who are impoverished, but you'd be surprised most people listening could actually qualify. They just need an elder law attorney such as ourselves to help them figure out everything and become qualified. And there's really two types of Medicaid planning. There's what we call the pre-planning, which is for those of you who are thankfully healthy, living your lives, but you're concerned about the cost of long-term care in the future, and you just want to make sure that you or you and your spouse are ready when the time comes so that you have the proper documents in place and you won't be in a situation where the elder law attorney will have to say something like, "I'm sorry, we can't help you." So pre-planning is just planning ahead to make sure that you can qualify in the future. And then there's crisis planning. That is when you or a loved one are at the point where you need care or you're about to need care and you're about to start spending down your assets quickly because of the high cost of care. And that is the planning to actually get you eligible and do the application process and get you qualified for Medicaid so Medicaid can help pay for the high cost of long-term care so you don't have to and you don't have to go broke. So that's what we do at the Siegel Law Group. And, of course, we do offer a free in-office consultation when it comes to Medicaid, and that would be a free long-term care audit so you can figure out where you are and what you need to do in order to make sure that you have the peace of mind that you are protected.
Yeah, and you know, when we first met you and you started talking about this Medicaid coverage, I had always thought that when people had that long-term care coverage, which is very pricey to get, that it lasted for your lifetime, and that's just not the case, Barry. People have those policies, may not even be aware that those policies do not go for the rest of your life. They run out.
Yeah, years ago when they first came out, they did offer lifetime policies. Nowadays, it's very rare to find that. They do have some new things, so we're definitely not putting down long-term care insurance. If you can get it, I strongly suggest it. There are different kinds, like there are ones that are hybrids with life insurance and with long-term care riders. So certainly talk to your advisor and see if that's available. But most of these do not last, like you said, forever, and you could run out, and that's the concern. So even if you do have it, you still may not be covered.
That's right. So give the Siegel Law Group a call, toll free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, I'll look forward to it.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
All right, we
Bye-bye.
are back. You back with us, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Did you have anywhere else you wanted to go, or was there any other issues that I haven't covered that need to be covered? That sounds.
I just wanted again to point out. I'm serious. I really hope you'll watch the part. Well, you're going to watch the whole thing. The
State of the Union. Well, of course.
Right. Yeah,
but it hasn't happened yet. It's tonight at 9:00. Of course, and that's what we'll be covering tomorrow.
By the way, you took my tip and you bet on the USA on that hockey match.
I
right?
don't gamble. I don't make any bets of any kind.
Oh,
ever.
My gosh.
Never. Have you ever known me to make a wager?
Easy money. Easy money.
No, I never gamble.
Maybe in 4 years.
No, I never bet. I do not gamble. I mean, not that I haven't bought a lottery ticket here or there, or put a couple dollars on a horse at the track that I don't know what I'm doing for fun. But I don't gamble. I don't bet on anything. You know that. I was surprised you would ask. But the thing about the Olympic team tonight and the girls not going is the dumbest thing the girls have ever done. And I'll tell you what. One of the guy that got his teeth knocked out.
Yes.
Okay, he makes like $65 million a year. I was surprised.
He scored the winning goal.
Yeah, all these guys play on NHL teams. Some in Canada, and they're millionaires all, right? I mean, they're really wealthy guys. The girls, there's not a lot of money in girls hockey like there is with men's hockey, right? And
it's like with all sports.
Yeah, and these girls, if they would have gone to the White House. Or gone to the State of the Union, because it's not just the State of the Union. President Trump's going to have them all in the Oval Office too, and he did an event a couple months ago with the Miracle on Ice team from the 1980 Olympics, or which was really, those guys are looking pretty old. But I was a little kid, and I remember that like it was yesterday. And they're going to go to the Oval Office, this team, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Miracle on Ice team guys are there. And the girls that are boycotting all of this are missing out on all the endorsement opportunities. They could any one of them could go to the Oval Office or the State of the Union and have a moment on television, and next thing you know, they're a millionaire. And it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. I've never seen. They're so the ladies hockey team is so self-destructive. They could profit so well on the coattails of these men because both teams won the gold. When is the last time the women's? I mean, we haven't won the gold since 1980? Is that true? When's the last time we won the gold for the hockey? Do you know, Steve?
The Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, the Miracle on Ice. And so they probably didn't even have women's hockey back then, right? So this women's hockey team is in a unique position where they won the gold and the men won the gold in the same Olympics. This probably has never happened before. The chances of it happening again with both at the same time is slim, especially with the same players. These girls are getting some of the worst financial advice I've ever seen people get. I don't know if they have agents, but if they do, they have the worst agents ever. They could get on the coattails of these guys and many of them could be millionaires by the end of the week, and maybe even by tomorrow, right after the State of the Union. And somehow this virtue signaling, they think they're doing something, but they're destroying their lives.
Cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Exactly. It's a great opportunity, and they're missing. All right, so let's take another call or two before we break. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh wow. Hey Brian, this is Jason from Massachusetts.
Hey Jason.
Hey Jay, what's up?
My question was, did you cover? Did you see what Don Lemon said about Patel in the hockey game? Did you see that at all yesterday?
I know he made a derogatory remark. What did he say?
You got to see it. Well, he's very upset about Patel drinking beer, celebrating. He's upset with Patel for being.
You know what it is with
fan.
Don? You know what it is with Don? He wants to be in the locker room with the boys, and he's not. And Cash Patel's in the locker room with the team.
Oh, you gotta see the whole interview, and he's upset with the First Lady's choice of decor at the White House. He is a gay man, and they know that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they should have had him over. But you got to see the interview, Brian. It's good stuff.
All right. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll listen to that instead of us. How about that?
It'll be worth seeing.
You got to put it on.
All right. Is there anything else people? Let me ask you. Is there anything else people might want to listen to other than us right now, other than Don Lemon?
Shit.
Okay. All right. First dump of the day. I shouldn't have asked. All right, Mike. You have the first dump of the day. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is great. Okay. We'll take our bottom of the hour break. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. Oh man, you know, I was talking earlier, Steve. There's a new commercial you're going to hear from one of our listeners. We got a listener. He retired. He's a retired police officer. He retired about 20 years ago or so, and he has a really good pension. It was a good pension 20 years ago, and what's happening? People are living longer now. This is like Barry Siegel. We were talking about how these policies don't last forever because people are living so long now. People are living 20, 25, 30, 35 years past retirement. So whether it's a pension or a retirement plan that they have, it wasn't set up to live as long as people are living these days. And this listener of ours, Steve, he went over to Joe Thomas. Now he's in annuities. His monthly income has just doubled, 100%, completely doubled, thanks to Joe Thomas. Give Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. It's the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
Okay, hang in there, guys. All right, Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we got just under a minute. So, hold on. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, and Steve is here with us. You have anything else on your mind, Steve?
I do want to point out that I made my prognostication on when we would go into Iran, and that the clock is ticking as of today.
Yeah.
I said as soon as we got the Olympics over with, and they terminated yesterday. So by tonight, I'm hoping that this thing will happen.
You know, I haven't heard any confirmation from Trump on this, but it was reported. You know, you see what's going on in Mexico, right? With the drug cartel business going on down there in Mexico. Have you seen it? You know,
El Macho, or whatever his name is, Mancho.
Well, he's
Mancho.
He's El Dedo now. I don't know what his, whatever. But,
El Dedo is correct.
But that's what you get. I took Spanish in high school and in college, and that's my Spanish. El Dedo. They're saying, though, that U.S. intelligence helped them take this guy out, this cartel leader. They chased
Which was stupid. I don't know why they waving a red flag in front of a bull. Why are they? I mean, talk about people retaliating against the president. I don't know why they gave it such a.
I'm not sure that we were. I haven't heard any confirmation from our side that we were involved in it. But
yes, we were involved in it. I'll tell you exactly. They announced yesterday that we were involved at the planning stage.
The planning stages.
We gave them directions on how to find them.
Okay, so I missed that. So it was. Hold on, I lost you there. Okay, so it was confirmed, but at the United States that we used our.
Yes.
Well, to me, that's good. Why would you think that's bad?
Because it sets Don up to have the cartel go after him.
Now, whatever. I mean, I don't know about that. It looks to me, well, please. If that's true, and we're involved in this means we've got like CIA and everything in there, DEA, whatever.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. They announced it in detail yesterday.
This is the second military action then we've been involved in Latin America, Venezuela, and now this. This is the.
And before the evening is over, we could be involved in both of them again. Plus Iran.
Well, I mean, we have never had a moment in time where the drug cartels have not been causing problems in this country for the last 50, 60 years. And if we took out this senior leader, they knew what they were doing. They're taking out the cartels for the first time. I mean, I've been dreaming that we would do this for years.
I wasn't objecting to them doing it. I was saying they didn't have to give all the glory to the president when half of the Mexican mafia it's only going to enrage them.
Well, they're already enraged, and it's like it's like they said. I mean, they're making all these attempts. I mean, this attempt on the president Sunday morning. I mean, it's nonstop attempts on him. I mean, I think he's at the point now where he's almost numb to it. Do you want to take some more calls?
Attempted that, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Steve. Hi, Brian. How are you? The thing is, Brian, when it comes to sports, the women really don't have as many moments as the guys do as far as special moments, and especially on the team level. And I agree totally. This boycott of the State of the Union address tonight is really, I don't want to say stupid, but it is. I expect that the men's hockey team will get a standing ovation from the Republicans at the State of the Union tonight. And it's going to be one of those moments you feel the patriotism. And this kid that got his teeth knocked out and stays in the game, and they win in overtime. It's almost as good as I guess the 1980 win. But the thing is, this just happened. And for the girls to surrender all that attention, all the monetary value this could create for them, and what it could do for women's hockey, I mean, it's really, I don't know who it, I don't know what they're thinking, but they just
you know what it is.
Whole platform,
you know what
the
it is. It's an emotional reaction that they're having, and it's stupid. You know,
they're thinking with their vaginas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know, they could, you know.
I can see the expression on Brian's face. Did I jump this? Did I not jump it?
I don't know, Steve. I haven't seen any of these girls, but if they're the typical female athlete, that's the last thing anybody wants to see.
Hey, be careful. My daughter was two of my daughters were state champion soccer players.
Yeah, well, these are Olympian hockey
players. You remember
players.
that, I'm sure.
Oh, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
But
you know this.
But these girls, they're missing. See, because you've got both teams winning gold in the same category, right? Hockey, and President Trump has this relationship with the Miracle on Ice team because they were just there. There is endorsement opportunities. When I remember when the Miracle on Ice team guys were at the White House, it was about 2 months ago. It was amazing.
Right.
President Trump had them and talked, and one of them said, "This will probably be the last time we all get together. Like the ride's over now, right?" But now it'll be back. There's a trifecta here of endorsement opportunities. You've got the Miracle on Ice team. You've got the men's gold medalist and the ladies. There'll never be a trifecta like this again. And these women on the U.S. Women's hockey team are blowing the biggest opportunity you could blow. I mean, this is a disaster for them.
And, you know, the Miracle on Ice, it lasted a total of 46 years. People still talk about it before this big win we just had this last weekend. And now, like I say, it's going to get propelled even bigger.
And this one's bigger, I think, in a way, because in a way, Miracle on Ice was big. I remember, I was a little kid. I was 9, but I remember it.
Well, the Miracle on Ice, don't forget, the Miracle on Ice was a miracle. You can't get bigger than a miracle.
Yeah, but see, we beat the Canadians in their national pastime is hockey. And with the conflict that's going on right now, and we beat them at their national pastime. I was hoping we could beat them in curling. I never dreamed this would happen. And you know, and these women, it's the Trump derangement syndrome that the liberals have. That's it. They just can't see the world clear. These women, by the end of the week, all of them could have been financially set and their families for eternity.
Oh yeah.
With this, with the trifecta,
absolutely.
And boom. Now, one of them might wake up. You know, one of them might wake up and say, "Hey, wait a minute."
Oh, you'll hear it. There'll be a follow-up on that story, I can promise you.
If one or two of them, if their parents get to them and say, "Hey, you're blowing this," and they go take part in it, they're going to make $100 million each.
Yeah. But, you know, on top of that, the Prime Minister of Canada, you know, with this get political, he's kind of mouthing off a little bit, you know, with that last conference they had. He was kind of, you know, the big guy and everything like that. Trump's had a little go back and forth with him. This is just a sweet victory from multiple levels.
Yeah.
And the men and the women did it. And for the women not to go, oh, come on. I hope maybe they have a second thought about this.
This trifecta will never happen again because the Miracle on Ice guys are dying off.
Yeah.
They're old.
Well, at least we can say we did our bit to promote the incredible event, and we can take part in the glory.
All right. Appreciate the call. Take care.
We'll make America great again. Now we do it in ice hockey too at the Olympics.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. Let's go for another one. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey, it's Ed in Altamont Springs.
Yeah, okay. All right. Appreciate the call. I tell you, it's one of those days, Steve. Do you know that the most dangerous heart problem of all is the one you don't feel? That's right. I'm going to give you the number for Life Imaging FLA in a moment. This very well may be the most important call you make this year and maybe even ever. They're all about early detection. Early detection helps save lives each and every day so that you live long enough to see all the most precious moments in life. And it's so amazing to me, Steve, when I hear from our listeners who have gone to Life Imaging FLA, and by the way, they have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. When they find that they have heart problems, or in the case of one of our listeners, found that they had a tumor, all of them tell me the same thing. I had no symptoms and I had no idea, right? And they go into Life Imaging FLA and they have the scan, and then they find out, and they can go to their doctor and take care of things before they have that heart attack. It's amazing. And they're saving lives every day over at Life Imaging FLA. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. All right, we'll take our break and come back with the Gold Report after this. All right, Steve, I'll put you on hold. I'm going to call William.
Okay. Hello.
Hey there, we have just over a minute. All right.
Okay.
So stand by. All right, Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we got 1 minute. 1 minute. I got William on the line. 1 minute, and we'll be back. Stand by.
Okay.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking on this Tuesday?
Well, after yesterday's big rally on the precious metals, the metals are pulling back a little bit on profit taking. Yesterday we saw gold gain $121.50 to close at $5,227.40 the ounce. $5,200 gold again. Silver was up $3.57 at $88.08 the ounce, while platinum lost $8 at $21.49, and palladium was down $23 at $1,720. Right now we've got gold at $5,145.50 the ounce. That's down $81.90, giving back a nice chunk of yesterday's gains. One thing that it was an event 8:30 last night. The Chinese market reopened after their 8 days off for celebrating their New Year. So that was a very big event, and we had gold trading all over the place, silver all over the place, until that settled down. And we've got, as I said, some lower numbers this morning. Gold down $81.90 at $5,145.50 the ounce. Silver down 53 cents right now at $87.55. Platinum down $2 at $2,147. And palladium up $2 at $17.22. So markets are kind of digesting the gains that we've had over the last few days, and maybe a little buying opportunity today to take advantage.
Absolutely. I mean, these silver prices, gold too, but the silver price, it's hard to put the word down when silver is over $87 an ounce today. Those just don't go together to me. Listen, guys, it's the time. Give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., toll free, 1-800 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, and find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay. Have a great day. Thank you.
Take care. All right, you back with us, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah. So, no, a couple things here. And one about the Democrats not coming in tonight. The Democrats, it's, you know, this assassination attempt on the president on Sunday morning was a pretty bad one. I mean, that guy got into Mar-a-Lago with a shotgun and a gas can. And I know people are saying, well, the president wasn't there. He didn't know that. It's very unusual for the president not to be there this time of year. You know, Mar-a-Lago is only open during the winter. These Blue Bloods and Palm Beach crowd come here during the winter. They're not here during the summer. And he didn't drive 700 miles because he didn't think Trump was home. You know, the Democrats have gone so far off a cliff. You know, when there have been so many assassination attempts that are serious attempts on the president, very serious ones. And I know some of them they don't include, but we've had multiple attempts here in South Florida within just a couple of miles of Mar-a-Lago. This guy was shot dead on Mar-a-Lago property. He got through the gate. We had the guy at the airport, which is, at the golf course, which is down the street from Mar-a-Lago. And the Democrats, you know, the assassination has disappeared from the news already. No details. And the reasons for that are all around the same thing. It makes Trump sympathetic, but they don't want the assassination story out there during the State of the Union period because that even makes the State of the Union greater, that he's defying these assassins and he's still there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and when the president said I played the clip earlier on the show, but the president, when he was talking to the Angel families, he said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. They're really gunning for me, aren't they, hun? And he looked at Melania when he said that during the Angel families event yesterday. He is, this is really on his mind. And Lara Trump, when she was on Fox yesterday and said, how many attempts can somebody survive? They keep trying and trying and trying. You know,
I think they talk about it too much, to be honest with you. No, it just bothers me.
No, you know, Steve, it has to. All of these are Democrats, you know, and this guy here, motivated by the Epstein files talk, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these people that obsess over the Epstein files drove this guy to do what he did on Sunday morning. And the rhetoric from the left is so over the line and so out of bounds and so out of control. Now, the other thing we were talking earlier before the Gold Report and everything about Mexico. So you've heard the administration say that they helped take out this cartel guy? Because I missed that in the news.
Yeah, I heard it in the news.
Okay.
Several times yesterday.
There's no, okay. So far as I know, this is the first, I'm not including Venezuela, this is the first time we've gotten involved in a major military action against the cartels in Mexico. I don't think this has ever happened before. And the chaos that's going on inside Mexico right now, it's pretty serious down there. And Puerto Vallarta is, you know, that's where all, you know, a lot of American tourists go there from California. It's a big tourist destination on the other coast, on the west coast of Mexico. President Trump had to have signed off on this, and he didn't sign off on it lightly or without a plan. And
I'm sure he didn't.
Mm-hmm. So
and it's not the kind of thing that they would have done without his approval.
No. So this is the beginning of the real war on drugs. I mean, this is some pretty hardcore stuff. And they didn't take out just one leader and say, okay, we're going to take out this one guy. There's a lot more in play in Mexico. It's about time. I mean, we've never, you know, the only time I've seen anything about taking out the cartels are in the movies. It's always been like a fantasy in this country that the U.S. would use the military to take out the cartels. And this is the first time that I know of where it's actually happened. And I don't see anything other than good coming out of that. You know, Mexico has been run by the cartels for decades. They've been sending this poison here, and they're down there without any fear of any reprisals. And so we started with Maduro. Now we got El Dedo here. You know, and this is great. You know, we took out another drug cartel boat yesterday. I mean, how are they getting these guys to take these boats? I don't know. Maybe they kidnap their families and make them. I don't know. But we've taken out at least 2 drug boats this week. Another one yesterday.
Well, they probably are doing it in a more clandestine manner.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Think of, I mean, so many people are alive today because of President Trump and these great things that he's doing. You know, he's doing things that no other president would even attempt to do, Republican or Democrat. And a lot of what he's doing are things that people never bothered doing because they didn't think they were possible to accomplish. And President Trump is, he closed down the border, mass deportations. He is taking the war on drugs literally, not just some bumper sticker, war on drugs, just say no. I mean, I want you to think about it. You know, that just say no message from Nancy Reagan, President Trump is really going to war on drugs. And if you remember Obama, who was involved in a big push to legalize drugs around the country. The reason marijuana is legal in so many areas in the country now is because Obama was pushing for it. And the Democrats thought that if they pushed to legalize drugs, it would help them win elections, that all the stoners would come out and vote Democrat. If they're voting to legalize...
that backfired,
yeah. It really is. And now we're taking down the drug cartels. And I'm wondering, you know, there's been, prior to this event in Mexico, there were 2 things that happened that President Trump did. The most recent was taking down Maduro, and then that former president of El Salvador that he pardoned, that was in with the cartels. And I'm wondering, this cartel war we're in now in Mexico, how much of this was from intelligence gathered from the Venezuelan government after the Maduro raid and that El Salvadorian president we pardoned? You know, a lot of people say, oh, how could he pardon this former president of El Salvador? He's a treasure trove of information. I told you guys then. He knows who the leaders are. He knows how they do business. He knows where a lot of them are. And I bet you a lot of people are saying, well, what good was it to take out Maduro if you leave his vice president in charge and the people in charge? They're obviously cooperating with us, giving us valuable intelligence on the cartels. I've never seen an operation like the one going on in Mexico right now. And it's all happening because of Donald Trump. And I don't see anything other than good news coming out of wiping out the cartels. Now, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss. You know, when I first went over and met Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, everything I thought was wrong. I thought losing weight was going to be nearly impossible, if not impossible. I thought I was going to have to exercise all the time, starve myself, and the little bit of food I'd be allowed to eat would be food I didn't like. And then after all that, I was, well, what happens when I lose the weight? I'll probably gain some of it back at least, if not all of it. None of those things were true. I haven't gained any of the weight back, not an ounce, which is amazing. I've been in the maintain phase for many, many months. I have not gained back a single ounce of the weight I've lost with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And the reason I haven't is because there's no pills, no injections, but there's no big lifestyle changes. I didn't have to starve myself, and I didn't have to do some ridiculous exercise routine. And because with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no big lifestyle change, keeping the weight off is easy as it gets. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call no matter where you are. We have listeners all over the United States that have been losing weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, so just to finish up, so we got the State of the Union tonight, and you know, so the number of Democrats that have announced that they're not showing up will probably grow throughout the day for this counter event they're doing, and it really this is like one of the most scientific polls we've ever gotten, because what usually happens is the Democrats sit on their hands, right? And you know, the president talks about things that you got to clap for. USA won the gold medal. You know, we have the lowest.
The Democrats are not going to clap for it.
Yeah, how can you not clap for the...
They're going to be doing what they did last year.
Well, that's why a lot of them aren't showing up, because they don't want to be seen sitting on their hands. You know, when President Trump says we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, how can you not applaud that? So the things that President Trump has done that he will be promoting tonight in the State of the Union are things that I call universally good. The lowest murder rate in 125 years. Team USA winning the gold. These are things that are universally good, but the Democrats can't applaud President Trump on anything. So that's why they're not showing up. And it shows you how popular President Trump is in their internal polling. They don't want visuals of them sitting on their hands when he talks about voter ID.
They're hysterical at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It's bad PR, even with Democrats, to sit on your hands when President Trump's talking about voter ID, because voter ID is supported by about 73% of blacks, over 80% of Latinos. So as opposed to being caught in these awkward positions of not applauding universally popular things, oh, we're going to do our own thing. We're not going to sit there for an insurrectionist. Yeah. We're going to be somewhere else. Go do that, okay? I can't wait to hear the response. Have they announced who's going to do the response yet?
I think they have, as a matter of fact.
I didn't. Well, we're almost out of time. I didn't see who that was.
No, the response is going to be the new senator from Virginia.
Oh, that means nobody else wanted to do it, right?
Is that what you read into it?
Yeah, give it to Mikey. Mikey, he'll eat anything. You know, yeah, exactly. They gave it to somebody who didn't want to do it. Well, listen, that's all the time we have for today. We will be back tomorrow, and we'll be covering and analyzing whatever happens tonight at the State of the Union. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, by the way, Steve, our ship is completely sold out. There's no cabins left on our cruise ship for our cruise next month.
Wow, that is exciting. By the way, call me when you get off the air.
I will. Okay? I will. All right.
Okay.
Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, we're clear. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And before you go, please like the video. All right? Take care. Thanks for watching.